So you don't know why 60,000 migrants crossed from Morocco to Spain last Friday, resulting in the death of 72 of the poor bastards. But you don't want to look like a thicky dum-dum in front of all your mates. Here's a quick rundown, because it seems like nobody actually knows what the fuck happened. The first thing to say is that when the media say that Moroccan migrants crossed into Spain, they don't mean this Spain, they mean this Spain. More specifically, an enclave of land called Ceuta, which Spain has owned since 1580. There's also a second one of these sneaky Spanish cities called Melilla. These two places form the only land border between the EU and Africa, because Spain is in the EU and Africa is in Africa. Now, migrants have been entering the EU via different routes for a number of years now, for a mixture of economic reasons and to escape violence caused by wars that are more often than not caused by at least one of the countries in the EU. But the thing is, 60,000 migrants have never showed up at the same spot at the same time, because that's mental, which led many people to ask who the hell sent out the invites to this party from hell. Well, the Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, was initially like it must have been the people smuggling mafia scum who found out about a Supreme Court ruling in Spain that said Spanish authorities were no longer allowed to return migrants who arrived by sea. That's why the Moroccan migrants on Friday swam to Ceuta by sea. But the thing is, this Spanish Supreme Court ruling was made about a month ago, so it doesn't really explain why 60,000 migrants gathered on Friday. Which meant people started looking at Morocco, who managed the border, because according to some migrants who entered Ceuta on Friday, the Moroccan border guards just let them through. Why? Well, this is where it starts to get a little bit complicated, because this all could be related to a bit of land called the Western Sahara. The Western Sahara is here and used to be a Spanish colony, but in 1975 it was annexed by Morocco, which the indigenous inhabitants didn't like one bitty bit. So they founded a political movement called the Polisario Front, which bitterly opposes Morocco's control over the Western Sahara. Now in 2021, the leader of the Polisario Front caught COVID, and Spain were like, come to Madrid to get treated, which royally fucked off Morocco, who responded by allowing 10,000 migrants to cross into Ceuta. Oh hello, we might have a lead detective. Then in 2022, Spain and Morocco cooled off and they were friends again. But then just last month, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez visited Algeria, and Morocco really fucking hate Algeria because Algeria support, that's right, the Polisario Front. Enter Tweedledee and Tweedledum as fuck. What the hell have they got to do with it? Well, these two fucking hate Spanish PM Pedro Sanchez because he didn't allow the US to use joint US-Spanish air bases to bomb the tits off Iran, and he's explicitly called Israel's genocide in Gaza a genocide. Because of this, Spain hasn't allowed Israeli ships to dock in Spanish ports, but guess who has? Morocco! Morocco's diplomatic ties with the US have also been getting stronger, illustrated by the fact they've just built a bridge and named it after Donald Trump. This is partly because Donald Trump has supported Morocco at the UN, which could bring them closer to gaining greater control over Western Sahara. Callback. So basically, some people have suggested that the US and Israel could have encouraged Morocco to orchestrate the migrant crisis into Ceuta on Friday, to draw attention to what they see as Spain's hypocrisy in drawing attention to Israel's occupation of Palestine with their occupation of Arab lands in North Africa. Equally, footage of the migrant crossings on Friday has been used by Donald Trump to scare Americans who look likely to vote Democrat in the upcoming November midterms. Now, even though almost all of the migrants who crossed into Ceuta have now returned to Morocco, the EU is pissed off with Spain, and Spain is pissed off with the EU because the EU is pissed off with Spain. Basically, we're witnessing the weaponization of migrants. By who? I'll let you decide.